Hello, engineers, designers, Misty Moranville, Misty, your STEAM teacher. This project will explore lots of different skills with emphasis on 21st century learning skill through their design process, the NGSS design process. Students will look at the phenomena of harvesting resources and conservation in our local Black Hills, which includes forestry and mining and lots of different agriculture. Because of the Black Hills being a controversial site, we had lots of Lakota Sioux and our Lakota Oglala cultures that have historically used these sites as spiritual locations and have a lot of cultural and historical meaning. Um, Many of these sites are protected, sacred, or have been utilized to support local tourist and economic gains. So this project is going to overall embrace a lot of skills that focus on the engineering design process, but also for those social innovators who want to make change and really branch together the diversity in our town with our different cultures um, between the reservations and the Black Hills National Forest. So I have reached out to two local community center programs. The first one is I Am Legacy and the Diversity Cultural Center for the Rapid City area schools. And this year, especially, we have been focusing on some standards called the Oseti-Sakowin, which here in South Dakota, because of our high population of Indigenous culture, we have developed our own standards that support the oral language, traditions, and cultural context of a lot of these tribes. So this project overall will start as students being hired as park rangers in the National Forest. We will begin with a phenomena video where students see how GPS tracking and coordinates play a big role in really harvesting resources and maintaining economic um, success for that area. We will also explore the historical impact and physical impact of items such as mining and forestry, how it interrupts the natural landscape, and how some of these industries have used responsible resourcing to conserve and protect the environment. Since we live in the Black Hills, we really want to focus on the relationship between science, engineering, and technology and the impact on Earth's resources and cultures from the area. Students will have three major tasks or artifacts throughout their investigation. Again, this is emphasis with the NGSS design, engineer design process. So task one really embraces the literacy components where we are going to research, use evidence, ask questions, develop our empathy. Students will be asked to make a poster, whether they want to make a physical poster using paper, where a lot of the students have learned how to use stop motion and iMovie to express their ideas. So some kind of communication poster that has questions about an area such as Bear Butte, Mount Rushmore, Harney Peak, which is now known as Black Elk, and a lot of our historical conservation areas here in the Black Hills. Students will have to ask questions and research to answer these questions, create their poster. Once they are done with their poster, they will move on to their mathematical component, which supports a lot of the math practices. Really, they will be making a model of a map that will be a scaled model. They will be not only using scale, but they will be converting and producing lots of different models to proportion of a conservation area. This map will later be used to program a robot that will actually drive around on a floor grid conservation area and harvest and collect such resources, such as um, trees for mining, or we harvest a lot of granite and a lot of minerals here in the Black Hills. Again, we have lots of agricultural areas, so students, we have hay baling and corn and all sorts of livestock here. So we're going to make a floor model, which our students will use computer programming and robots to change variables, test variables, and explore how some of these industries use robotics and engineering to support their industries. So again, the three different tasks, we have some kind of poster, that visual element that supports the reading and the writing, the research and gathering evidence. We have the map that is going to be a scaled down model that represents coordinates on a Cartesian plane. Students will have to scale that model. They will then use that model to predict or develop a program for the robot. And then later, as a team, evaluate their program by changing variables and testing that program. Some examples of these artifacts. Again, I have a lot of artistic students who love drawing, so I will let their team that they are working with decide how they want to produce a poster. They could make a written poster, or will also be given an opportunity to utilize a stop motion or iMovie or ThingLink as another form, Canva, to express their questions and their process of gathering information and evidence of their item of conservation. Here we have a lot of conservation measures with our hunting, such as the way we collect and monitor our tags for our hunting season and our fishing season. We also have the American bison, aka the buffalo tatonka, that are very important for cultural reasons and historical reasons here. So we have the Custer Roundup that maintains that livestock. And we also have an issue right now with the pine beetle that is living in our pine and destroying a lot of our national forests. So thinning our forests to help avoid forest fires, and the pine beetle is very important. So we are going to explore all these different ideas as we kind of explore through our game fish and parks, our National Forest Service, and even Custer State Park. Students will, it is important for them to be able to express their communication in models. And so when they are imagining and planning, we'll look at how these programs use ideas to help them plan for conservation and economic gains. Because of this year, and sometimes we're in person, it looks like we're going to be switching to level 3. So I have created a flipped learning where I have pre-recorded videos that will walk students through exactly what step-by-step it should look like through our research phase and through our developing our map model to scale. And I also have the actual process examples of students utilizing, our dash robots to ultimately run a program to harvest. These are just blocks, but in real life, we would think of it as, GPS tracking and use of our coordinate planes. And so we see how important computer programming is in math in that context. Also, major importance in engineering design process is the ability to reflect. So we utilize Flipgrid, where students can document via video and comment tools on their design process, where they can take pictures of their poster or import links for their poster and their different artifacts. We really work on the process explicitly, where we'll let each team perform and we'll say 2 things that that team did really well and 1 area for improvement. I call this 2 stars and a moon reflection. And then students also have opportunity to utilize technology where they can self-reflect using a Google form. One activity that was very unexpected and a big surprise is the I Am Legacy and Diversity Center has found a local area that has donated some space. So our students also, when we're done with this, have like bonus task 4, where they can work on using ideas behind the Lakota historical areas that we have just researched on conservation and create a mural that represents these different cultures coming together and our community as one. And the students then we will vote and select on which items to include in this mural. And we have a local Lakota artist who has volunteered to put up our mural. We have, like I said, a space underneath. It's under an overpass. There are 6 pillars and a very large side of the overpass that will be decorated in attempts to beautify and conserve one of our more broken down neighborhoods and try to beautify it. So again, really encompassing a lot of different pieces. We have very artistic kids, creative outlets. There's lots of opportunity, whether they're making posters or utilizing technology. They will all have opportunity for robotics. Our teams, often when they work together, you can see the artists tend to go towards making the poster, and the kids more interested in robots kind of take control of those areas. So we really talk about offering opportunity to others to try those skills too. Even though some kids are natural, we want everyone to have an opportunity to attempt something new. You never know if you're going to like something until you try it. So this place-based project and project-based learning encompasses our Black Hills National Forests and the impacts of technology engineering on historical community and members. We look at conservation through our hunting and fishing licenses and how our Black Hills National Forest really protects and uses responsible resourcing for the future generations. So thank you for your time. I will keep you posted. We have just kind of dipped our toes in the water launching this. And so our Flipgrid video will hopefully have lots of different opportunity to see students posting and sharing out. Many of the students at my school are, their parents have signed for this year especially, they don't want them on video. So I will have this platform moderated. So the students who have got permission from their parents, you'll notice the videos will pop up, but a lot of them I have to, for student confidentiality, keep them blocked. So my Flipgrid has a lot of our, again, links to everything we're doing. They have our EPIC conservation link also attached here so they can research and explore their ideas. It gives them lots of different books. Also in our Flipgrid, we have the examples of the different tasks. I want to make sure I go over, I did develop a rubric for each task and what limited performance, inconsistent understanding, and proficiency of that skill look like for each of the artifacts. And so I have also attached those along with my checklist that I will use as I observe students in this design process. So thank you for your time, and I can't wait to see everyone else's ideas. Thank you. Have a great day.